Okay, welcome back everyone to another episode of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill. I go by Yodaman on the boards. And once again, I'm joined for commentary by Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going?
Doing all right.
And we got our special guest again for this game, Ben, who goes Pants YG on the board. Hey Ben, how's it going with you tonight?
Doing good.
All right, so we've got more games from the Star Wars LCG Store Championship held at Gamers Armory. I'm on the right in this game playing my light side deck again against Anthony, who came up with his dad from Charlotte. I forgot to ask Anthony exactly how old he was, but I think he was probably about middle school. So, it was neat to see somebody so young getting in the game. He said he and his dad play at their house all the time for about the last year, and they wanted to come to a tournament. So I'll quickly run down the deck list here again. So my deck list, I've got my Spark variation here I've got 2 Last Warrior, 1 False Report, 2 May the Force Be With You, 2 Spark of Rebellion, 1 Secret of Yavin 4, and 1 Haunting the Empire. And Anthony's got a Scum slash Sith deck, which is actually got some pretty good sets in there. It's sort of a Force Hunters deck. He's got the Scum affiliation with 2 Masterful Manipulation, 2 Hunter for Hire, 2 Plan of the Prophetess, 2 Dark Lord of the Sith, and 2 Power of the Dark Side. So, you guys have any thoughts about the deck list as we get going here?
Uh,
I really like Force Hunters.
Seems good to me. Using some of the sets that we haven't seen in a while, like Saris, which is always... I so wish Saris was a better card, because I love that whole set.
Yeah.
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 If she had 3 health, I think would be
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Anthony had his stuff shifted up a little bit too much. You can't see his Scum affiliation card, but he started with 2 Dark Lords of the Sith and 1 Plan of the Prophetess, which just kind of made me groan here. And then he's going to drop 2 Lana Lackeys on this first turn, which is certainly not a bad thing either with this kind of setup. I started with May the Force Be With You, Spark, and Haunting the Empire. And
it's a pretty solid start on.
Yeah, you get all 3 colors over there too. All
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
So.
he's committing both lackeys, and he's going to take balance there.
Yeah, I think I would too. Those are, I mean, they're all right with their gun, but they're really there for the tactics.
Yeah, exactly. And with Dark Lord of the Sith against my Spark deck, unless I can get like Ghost or things, I'm going to be not able to do
3PO.
stuff. Yeah, there's 3PO.
Yeah, it's a bummer that he didn't know about the Dark Lord of the Sith Limit 1 deal, because that definitely would have changed what he flopped there.
Yeah, it might have made a difference in what he did. I mean, I don't know what his other set was, but I got to think it was probably something different. So then I'm going to play Hera there. And so I'm going to go to Conflict. And yeah, so Anthony was pretty good with the rules of the game, but there was a couple things that seemed like, I guess, just one of those things where you're just playing at your house. So I'm trying to spark something, and I sparked in a Children of the Force.
Lucky.
Yeah. So that he had a little bit of confusion about Limit 1 versus Limit Once, that he initially thought that both Dark Lords could go off, and I explained to him that actually they didn't, with them being Limit 1, sort of the difference between the things. So I focused 3PO. He's going to be good for sucking up those Dark Lord things. And then this is where I'm kind of explaining about the Dark Lord stuff, that he just didn't know that. And
That's a real bummer.
yeah,
Oh well.
yeah.
Won't
So I don't
forget.
know what he might have buried. I don't know if maybe it was Hunter for Hire even, or Masterful, but
Well, one thing I don't know if you're going to run into this problem, but since he's using Saris's set over there, I'm seeing Hera with only 2 pips.
yeah.
Deadly Sight coming your way.
Yeah, that and the fact that 3PO and Children of the Force, if I commit them, would have absolutely none right now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Plan of the Prophetess definitely had to work around that. So I actually just passed turn, didn't commit anything, and the dial went to 3 because I figured it was pointless attacking
Yeah.
because no matter what I did, he was probably going to be able to keep balance.
Well, if you
I
if
guess
you focused one of them and then he struck with the other,
yeah, I guess
you will
so.
unfocus.
Yeah, I could have done it, but then I've been vulnerable to some of those other tricks, like that aren't
Right.
even just the deadly sights because I knew what the Force Hunters decks can do. I thought it was interesting he had Zizor in there. I think a lot of times people probably would just run Bane with 8 other Sith sets, but Zizor is a good unit. And he played the Royal Guard champion, which I was a little surprised about that. I don't know, maybe he just drew it there so he didn't have a way to pitch it, but...
Yeah, well, unless he had nothing else to play. There's not really any reason to throw that down when you could do something else. Well, he didn't play anything else, so...
Yeah, he just committed. I think I focused... I tried to reposition the camera, and then I realized I just was not going to be able to get his Scum card in there. But I got his objectives in better now, at least.
Yeah.
So, Anthony said he was pretty interested. I asked him if he cared if I recorded the game. He said he thought it'd be neat to go back and watch how he did. So, I was impressed with how he played personally.
I thought I saw Bane in his hand just now. Maybe he didn't, because if he played him and he attacked or whatever, he could have pitched the guard and then brought him into play for free later.
Yeah, I didn't see Bane in there. I didn't realize it.
I thought I saw something when he was just... I can't tell what that card is.
Yeah.
That's right on his thumb right now. I thought it was Bane, but I might be wrong.
All right, so I tried to use Children of the Forest to look... Or I did use Children of the Forest to look at the top card. And I think it was a Kanan's Concentration, which wasn't going to help me here. And I feel like I had a lot of fake cards sitting in my hand right now. Like I might have had a Seeds, maybe a Target. I think I did have... I put the Guardian set in there because I was determined to have at least one twist. I think in any tournament, even though some people don't run it on light side, I think you want to have a twist in there just to keep people honest. And so I debated Falcon or Guardians, and I didn't want a 4th Smuggler set. That's why I ended up going with Guardians. Plus I figured Event Cancel, Protect, that wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, the Protect ended up being
and
really
Spark
key.
Bait too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I forget that there's a lightsaber deflection in there.
Yeah, really that's good too. I don't remember if I ever drew it the whole day, but so I'm attacking with Hera, and he's going to block with the Lackey there. I think he had some fake cards too. I see a Seeds that he's got sticking out there. I put 1 in and I passed. He put 2 in. And he had an Echoes and a Seeds, and I had a Seeds. So the Echoes is going to ruin any May the Force Be With You plans I probably had. So he's going to actually commit Hera, and then he decided to Seeds Hera, which is probably good because then I could have locked something else down. And I went and Seeds the Lackey that was... Actually, I was trying to decide which Seeds I want to do. Yeah, I think he was asking because I was telling him that... you could actually Seeds anything that was committed. I think he thought at first it had to be something in the engagement.
Yeah, his deck has 4 Echoes in it, which is definitely a detriment to any sort of May the Force Be With You play.
Yeah, and there is a Yoda, you seek Yoda. The dial's going to creep up to 5 here as I get Yoda out. The bad thing is I can't even get Force back with Yoda right now unless I guess I could attack. I think I'd have to attack to try to get Force back with Yoda.
I mean, I think, you probably want to get the Force back too. Getting the dial up to 6 this early in the game with a deck that kind of wants to build up can be a fairly risky proposition.
Yeah, I asked him if he wanted to cut. I think
Did
I
you
barely
spark
ever.
Yet?
I had looked with Children of the Force. I hadn't sparked yet. Yeah, so I am going to send in Yoda here because I'm assuming he's hopefully not going to have a way to kill my Yoda based on what I'm seeing, even if he blocks with the guard. I was just assuming based on when he told me he was playing Force Hunters, which was kind of obvious once with the stuff he put out initially that I wasn't probably going to have to worry about a heat coming at me or a Force choke. So Yoda's going in after something. I don't remember what I attacked. I might have actually tried to go after Prophetess because I want to get some Force icons back. I figure 3PO can suck up the Dark Lord stuff.
Yeah, if there's 2 Dark Lords, it's not worth the trouble to get rid of both of them. You might as well just go for whatever else is out there.
Yeah. So he's
blocking
with
the running too.
He's blocking with the Lackey. and he put 2 cards in, and I only put 1 in. I put in 3, and he had 3. He just pitched a deadly sight, so that wasn't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That always feels bad.
Well, yeah, except for the fact is, unless he pitched something I didn't realize it, he didn't draw resources, so he was sort of like stuck. Did he really want to spend his whole turn playing deadly sight? I don't know. So
well, with 3PO out there, you might not.
Yeah,
that's true too. Yeah, with the 3PO, it's kind of hard to. The 3PO really shuts down a lot of the events that he's trying to play because he doesn't have any cheapos to just sack.
Right. So I did. He focused Yoda, but then Lackey had a double focus, and I did commit Yoda and take balance back with May the Force. So got the dials to 5, but I haven't done any damage yet. I'm trying to build a board like I did against Ben in our round 1 game, but
I mean, it's working pretty well so far.
Yeah.
You'll have 1 more May the Force trigger unless he kills one of your guys. I mean, obviously you'd rather he did.
Or unless he commits something else on me.
Yeah.
With an Echoes like he did the first time on Hera.
Yeah.
He just played Vader's Meditation Chamber, so now he's got 5, and I think I see a Zizor or something in his hand. Maybe what you thought was Bane was actually Zizor, Derek.
No, I thought I remembered the picture from, unless it was, maybe, is it the promo Zizor? Because I remember it being kind of orange in the picture that I saw. I don't know, he pitched a bunch of edge cards though, I don't know if that was one of them though.
Yeah, I don't think they had any promos because this is the first event they'd ever gone to. They walked home with a few. And there's Zizor.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Zizor because I thought I remember seeing like the type of color you see on like right in the middle of the card that you see on like the Dark Lord over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I'm saying right now that I had 4 on the Force, and he has 4 because his Lackey's still committed, but he could potentially lock down Yoda here. I've only got 2 edge cards, and he's got 5.
Yeah.
So,
that's the interesting thing with Force Hunters.
Force Hunters. Yeah.
A lot of the times you don't want to be aggressive with those preemptive lockdowns because your edge hand is pretty valuable.
Yeah, so he actually didn't attack. He let me keep balance, and I did one to Plan of the Prophetess.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't commit there.
He couldn't commit.
One of your seeds already.
He's all committed.
He's all committed, and that's why I pointed out I still had 4. Now I'm up to 5 thanks to Hera.
I think I'm willing to take that 1 damage in his position.
Yeah. And I feel like I didn't. I'm sitting here thinking because I don't think I drew anything that good again. Like, I'm looking at children and nothing again. I see like a bow rifle. I see another Yoda, which is good for edge, but I can't play him. Oh, I did get Zeb. Okay.
Pretty good.
I get that's what it was. I had Zeb and the bow rifle, and I was probably trying to decide, do I want to play Zeb or do I want to put the bow rifle on Hera? But I couldn't do both. So
yeah, I think a big unit is probably better than
a
one upgrade.
But I think I'm probably going to end up still building a board here.
I mean, you've got the time. He's not really pressuring you.
Right. So we went to conflict, and I focused 3PO as usual. Yeah, he's even better than a nudge to focus. Because you're really never going to do anything with him. He's only 1 pip. The nudge, at least, if you keep him free, might give you 2 pips to the Force.
Hey, with Hera, he's got a gun, though.
That's true. That's true. And my children has 2 guns. But
it's funny, now that I think about it, almost every 3PO card I really like, except for the one that came out in that Ewok set.
Really? I like that DJ3PO, as people call him.
No, not DJ3PO, the other
Ewok.
Oh,
the other Ewok set. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that guy is garbage.
Yeah. The one that came out with the R2 set, that one's pretty good to get rid of the enhancement.
That one is bonkers. If he came out in a better set, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3PO. He's always one of my favorite cards that they print for this game.
Yeah. So I think I'm really trying to decide, do I want to attack? Do I want to risk having Yoda locked down, having somebody die because I don't have protectors, and he could potentially have enough guns with Zizor and the Royal Guard.
The thing is, what does he do to you next turn if you can't block? He still doesn't have the resources to put down someone big like Palpatine.
Right. He could play Vader.
The worst, you've got event protection, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So Vader is, I guess, the only thing you're really worried about.
Yeah.
And even then, he has to attack to do his thing. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to just taking a breather here and seeing what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm talking about Hera giving guns to Spectre, I think, and Neutral. So Zeb has 2 guns. The Children of the Force have 2 guns. 3PO would, as you said, would have had a gun.
So the interesting alternative here, because you don't have, because there's no way he can play Palpatine next turn, and you've got a ton of guys, you could make one of those huge attacks on an objective here with a lot of your dudes.
Yeah, and I am going
and
in
not get punished too hard.
I'm going in after plan.
The other thing you got to think about, though, Vader, of course, but there's Bane also, who has his targeted strike against guys on the Force, and there's the potential for him using the Echoes. Like you said, he's got 4 in the deck. He's only used 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's used 1 Seeds and 1 Echoes.
Yeah, if you can hold back someone to block,
and he is
that means you can't get punished too hard.
He's blocking with the Lackey and Zizor here. I hope I have a decent edge hand.
Interesting.
I'm sure one of the things I'm going to pitch probably is the bow rifle just to get it in discard out of my hand.
Yeah. So there's a funny thing about pitching 0-cost edge cards, though. Sometimes I'm afraid to do it because I feel like it'll make the opponent pitch more cards, and I won't be able to beat them.
Oh, okay. That's true. Unless I'm just pitching. Yeah, I might have just pitched it.
Yeah. Oh, just to get it out of your hand.
Yeah, I may not be planning to win this edge battle here. I
Yep,
did pitch the bow rifle, and he had an Echoes and something else.
I saw the Echoes. I think if I'm him, I commit Zeb, so he has to double focus.
No,
Unless he's probably going to try to focus him.
He committed the Slicer. Well, I guess Hera could free up Zeb, so...
Oh, that's true. But you can't free up the Slicer.
Right. But he's got 3 tactics here. So he put 1 on Yoda, 1 on Zeb. He's going to get, from Zizor, he's going to get 2 guns on somebody.
So, yeah, that's Zizor pick.
2 guns
Look at him doing his work.
2 guns on Zeb. And then the Lackey's going to get to focus somebody. Maybe I should not have attacked here.
The Lackey loses his gun when he's focused, right?
Yes.
That's the thing that turns into the tactics?
Yeah. I think he thought it had it at first, and then he realized it didn't.
He could have Echoes to remove the Lackey. It wouldn't have double focused. He would have had a 3rd gun. He could have killed one of your guys.
Yeah, he could have. I was a little surprised he committed my Slicer, but it did turn off me being able to free up something with May the Force by forcing me to have to use the other card.
That's a tough call. I wonder what is more valuable, a dead Zeb there, or taking May the Force away from you. I guess you don't have anything powerful left to May the Force if Zeb is dead. So that might have been the better play.
Yeah, so I'm going to attack one of the Dark Lords with the Children. Figure I can at least maybe get that thing double locked down. So I just put 1 in. He passed. Yeah, he said he had edge 1. I'm like, I know. That was just trying to get you to double focus.
Yeah.
And maybe get you to pitch another edge card in, but he didn't do it.
Yeah, I think there I would have taken the damage to win the Force.
Yeah.
That goes up to 7. That seems like a better deal than 1 dead child of the Force.
And then here I realized that I'm not even going to be able to get balance back, so I think I'd go ahead and attack with the Freelance Slicer and get some damage in.
Yeah, because you don't need to get balance back. You've
Right.
already got it. Yeah, that's how decks like this can sometimes do it, just chipping away.
Yeah, so, I don't have to worry about Imperial Fist or Yularen throwing stuff back at me.
Right. Although the dial is fairly high.
Oh,
so
wow, we just made a mistake. I should have kept balance,
mistake.
and I just bumped it up to 7.
Why?
I thought he got balance back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a mistake on my part.
Huh. Interesting. Well, call it a handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Strange. So, but he is looking in a pretty good spot. He's got Zizor just ready to go to town, locking stuff down.
Right.
If he draws a Bane here, he could really cause some trouble.
Yeah, Bane
Or
or Vader. Yeah.
Bane or Vader, yeah.
Ideally, he'd probably want a resource and then Bane or Vader. That way he could potentially play Palpatine next turn.
He has been kind of locked out on the resources. Does his deck...
Deck Collector would be good.
He should have a lot of resources in his deck. Every one of those sets has a resource. Because Bane's
He
got
hasn't seen the Dark Temple. He hasn't seen either.
Right.
Oh, that's true. Is he running 2 Saruses? Yes, it's
Yeah.
all 2-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have... That's wild that he hasn't seen more.
Yeah, and there's Vader.
That could be a problem.
It could be a big problem here. And
No,
I'm going to play
Vader game.
Kanan's concentration during deploy and free up Yoda.
Now Vader gains. It's if there's 2 exhausted units, he gains another gun. Is that right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
got 3 guns.
And then
And
he
he-
can always assign his damage to a focused enemy unit.
Right.
Yeah.
And Yoda's not focused right now, but Yoda can very easily get focused.
Right. Or just, one shot by Vader if he decides to stand in the way.
Right.
If he's got any good events over there, I think I take out 3PO.
God, that does
yeah.
feel like a waste of the damage, though, doesn't it? Like, any
It
of his
does,
events...
but with the amount of tactics you can drop there with your other guys, if you get rid of 3PO, you should be able to take care of a lot of other
this is
stuff.
bold.
Yeah, he is sending Zizor and Vader in after something, which is going to potentially decimate my board and lock me down, but he's not going to have much on defense.
He's going to blow up Spark if he wins Edge and kills Yoda if you block with him.
He's going to be one short of blowing up Spark.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, there's only one on Zizor.
Yeah, Zizor only has one. It always seems like he should have 2, but he only has 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually passed here.
So it's interesting. He would almost be better served by locking down your big uniques instead of killing them, because you've got most of your unique units on the board.
Okay, there was something I was surprised he did, that he actually decommitted Yoda, which I didn't understand. That was definitely one I wasn't sure why he did.
He should have decommitted his own guys.
Right. Like maybe decommit the guard. And he shot Hera.
Yeah,
Then Yoda gets to swing now, doesn't he?
I didn't defend.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, because I figured if I wanted to make him, after I freed it up, I thought I'm going to make him decide if he wants to use the tactics on Yoda to kill him. And if he doesn't kill Yoda, then I'll still have him. So he did 4 damage to Spark. He had decommitted Yoda, which means I won't get, I can't like sneak balance back or anything. So I guess in that way it was good because the lackey takes balance back or keeps balance for him.
Right.
Even though
now you've got
though.
Now you get to use May the Force again though.
Yeah,
On Yoda.
I do, but also he locked down everything else though.
And he would have.
And Dark Lord's out, so I need another unit, or Dark Lord's just going to focus Yoda.
That seemed like a strangely aggressive play to me.
Yeah. I thought Anthony was a little aggressive. I think I sort of said that to him afterwards, that I thought he was a little more aggressive than maybe he needed to be.
I mean, honestly, he's not getting punished for it because of the fact that you don't have a lot of resources yet.
Yeah, I backed up for a second.
You're not going to play a ton of stuff on him.
Yeah, I backed up for a second, and before I was going to play Ghost, but then I wanted to play the improvised defenses on Haunting the Empire just to get a resource, because if you're neither one of us had resources this game, and I've got a lot in my deck too, and that's the first one I've drawn.
So here's the thing: is Vader's thing, is that a card effect that Ghost can stop?
Probably. Yeah, it should be.
Or is it not targeted?
Yeah, it is. It's a targeted thing. It can't be affected by enemy card effects. So then I played Ghost. So I could focus Ghost to keep Yoda free from Dark Lords, I guess. But that seems silly. So I think I'm going to end up having to focus Yoda here is the problem. I did leave the improvised defenses resource open, so maybe I'm thinking of getting the bow rifle back. I might have well equipped.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have it in our game when you and I played, Ben, but I feel like I made use of bow rifles and well equips in some of these other games.
Well equipped is way more powerful than I initially gave it credit for.
Yeah, if you can
especially
set it
when
up,
you
it's
get
crazy.
bow rifles onto Zeb. I mean, he just turns into a truck.
Yeah. So I had to focus Yoda.
So you decided not to cancel that with Ghost.
Yeah. Maybe I'm figuring I'll commit Yoda again. Get more
That's
Force
fair.
icons that way. I got more bombs with Ghost.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing about Yoda is that people go after him like crazy. I guess because he just murders anything that stands in his way. But,
Yeah.
so
It's because he's the auto lockdown 2 guys. It's a black tactics and 3,000 guns.
3,000 guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it
take the
doesn't matter how
back.
big your guy is, he can take out 2 of them.
I played a twist.
Twist on it didn't look like a high pip card.
And I think I just realized I made a mistake here. I
What's that?
forgot I needed to put the bow rifle on Zeb or whatever before the edge battle.
Oh, if you wanted to do the well-equipped trick.
Yeah, so I actually maybe I didn't have well equipped. I might have just left it so I could actually just get it on Zeb at some point. Maybe I wasn't planning to necessarily
Did you
do
win that
it.
edge battle?
I won
won
the edge
3-2.
battle. Yeah, I won
Yeah.
3-2. I put that outmaneuver in. I blew up Dark Lord Assist. I finally got an objective here with the dial at 7, though we realized it probably should have been at 6, but I accidentally bumped it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
those sweet guns.
Zizor should be able to trigger now, though.
Yeah,
right?
Zizor should trigger now. I think we missed this at first, and he realized it later. I let him go ahead and do it. Just because I knew, it was his first time ever playing and stuff, and I tried to use... Okay, oh, that wasn't bad. So I used the slicer to look at the top card, and then it was Kanan, so I used Spark and sparked him in. And now I am getting
Oh, you can bow rifle.
the bow rifle. And I bet I did have that well equipped, and I realized I made the mistake, and Spark bailed me out of it.
Mhm.
If I put that on Zeb, I must have. I
Yeah.
obviously have well equipped. Yeah. So now I gotta swing with both.
Yeah, you're getting some good damage in this turn.
Yeah, so I am
And
swinging.
again, this is a consequence of being too aggressive with lockdown effect.
Yeah. So there's the well equipped that I misplayed, but Spark bailed me out that I hit something so I could still attack, since I forgot to put it on beforehand. And then I got 2 damage.
Here's the other thing, though. You said you went back and let him trigger that later. He could have grabbed that well equipped.
Yeah, that's true.
Or is he going to trigger it when you blow
'Cause
up something with Zeb here?
Yeah, he should have triggered it before. And now I'm saying how I've got 2 guns, and I could potentially get a third unless he discards. And I have more enhancements than he does because I've got the bow rifle and the improvised defenses. But yeah, you're right. I let him go back, and I think I let him capture the last card in my hand. But you're right, Derek. If I wouldn't have done that, if he had done it at the right time, he could have potentially got the well equipped.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get. He's discarding to stop a gun, and then I think I probably shot the lackey then because it was pointless to shoot anything else.
Yeah.
Get rid of the potential tactics. Yeah. So I'll kill the lackey and then get 4 damage on Dark Lord of the Sith. Thanks to the bow rifle.
Zeb. Love that guy.
Yeah.
There's been talk recently about how, as soon as Jin comes out, Zeb's going to be, in the dumpster. But his set brings a lot of good things to the table, not the least of which is that well-equipped.
Yeah, and now here, because he had decommitted Yoda before, I'm going to get the free Yoda back up with May the Force.
Oh, you would have been able to do that anyway because Hera died.
And this time I take balance, it goes to 8, even though I should have had it before, but...
So you're looking much better than before, but you're still in a tenuous spot where if he can attack, lock down Yoda, and then kill him with Vader, he's not within. He'd have to kill all 3 objectives. Is kind of your saving grace here.
Yeah, that's what I realized. I was a little bit. I felt a little more confident at this point. I mean, I was kind of, nervous the whole time because he got a decent start with the lackeys and got the Zizor out fairly quick and had used the echoes really well to keep me from being able to use May the Force to free things up. So like I said, Anthony played pretty well. I said there was a couple mistakes. I thought he got a little aggressive there, but he did pretty much lock down my whole board except Yoda. And then if I hadn't gotten something else, I could have, I had to focus Yoda as it was. So it wasn't too bad, but.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, and he did it at a good time, because the best time to try to lock someone down is right after they've made a bid swing at you.
Right.
'Cause they've already put a lot of focus tokens on their own stuff.
Right, so I've still got 3PO out, so stop some events.
He's still too light on resources to play anything too big. I guarantee at some point he's had dead force manipulation in his hands, because he just can't play it.
Oh, and I think this is where he noticed about the Zizor thing. And I think he said, well, you don't have to let me do it. I'm like, it's fine. Just take this last card, which was actually a Yoda. The thing I did point out was if he had captured it before, it would have had to have been under one of the other objectives.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I let him do it. But like he said, and I said, you don't have to show it to me. Yeah,
you don't have to show it to me. I already know what it is.
I know what it is, but technically it should stay face down. Because if he happens to capture something else, although I don't know I would right now, but if he did, then, and I had a way to get captured cards back, then you really should know what they are. So I did feel a lot better this time. I'm thinking, surely I can get 2 damage in on my turn, right?
Yeah, watching your deck play, it's just amazing how, because your board goes so wide, you get so many opportunities to just hit for big damage.
Yeah, and there's Bane.
A little late to the party, but still useful.
And now I'm sitting there thinking... Go ahead, Derek.
That's what I was talking about earlier, where I thought I saw a figure with that kind of orangish background there. So that's why I thought I was saying, like, turn 1 that I thought he had Bane in his hand.
I wonder if it was just something else.
It could have been. I don't know.
Maybe it was another lackey or something. Don't they have some weird orange on them?
I don't think so.
It's like just
I don't remember, but yeah, because that's what I was saying. If he did have Bane, that would have been a better option than the Royal Guard, because he could have played it and then attacked and got the Royal Guard in for free had he pitched it in the edge battle.
Yeah, so he's sending Bane in after Spark.
He's going for it.
Yeah, well, you have no cards in hand, so you can't win edge.
Right, yeah, I had a Yoda, and now he's just going to kill Yoda. And I remember thinking, maybe I shouldn't have let him capture that card way later, because I was trying to hang on to the Yoda, so if he killed Yoda, I just was going to replay him. But yeah, so he killed Yoda, blew up Spark, so the dial will go to 9.
He's got a not attack here.
Yeah, did we forget to... Actually, technically, the dial should have only gone to 8, but I don't know if we moved it. It might be right. It might be actually where it should be now, because we missed the dial click before. So now I think we did. Unless I catch it and try to move it up later.
Zizor's the other thing he's got over there, right?
Yeah.
That's the card with all the glare on it.
Yeah, so he's going to attack something with Vader, which makes sense. He can try to kill something.
God, but what do you kill?
Maybe he kills even though it's overkill, maybe he kills Zeb.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I was explaining how I could protect with Ghost if he tried to kill Kanan or Zeb.
Protect Spectre, right?
Yeah, protect Spectre. So he could kill he could just throw 3 on Ghost. He could kill 3PO. But I think he's only got 1 resource left, so I'm not sure if that would help.
I mean, 1 resource is enough to play Force Manipulation. Is that the one that kills a guy?
Yeah, I think that's one.
Don't you have to win a Force struggle by 3 or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Which you could do. So if he's got it in his hand, that would be a decent play. It only kills things that are committed to the Force, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, so he would have to do attack and do damage to 3PO, then use Force Manipulation to kill the Freelancer, or whatever, the Free Hunter. But then the other 3 are still all there.
Yeah, so he put 3 on May the Force be with you, and now he looks like he's attacking with Zizor again, which this is where I thought he got a little bit too aggressive. I think he would have been better off keeping Zizor back on defense.
Yeah, there's nothing... he can't lock you down because of Kanan.
Right.
Well, I guess he can do that, but...
Yeah, and then he's hitting... focusing Zeb down.
That's just not going to be enough, though, because you only need, a total of...
I need 3 blasts, yeah. And if I get
you
a
need 3 blasts because you got unopposed.
yeah, and if I get a tactics, then I can just lock down his guard. And there's nothing he can do about it. Yeah, so he's going to take balance back. So we did miss the dial click, but that's okay because we missed it before that went up when it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
So now you've rectified the error.
we
and,
rectified the
good to
error,
go.
and I'm using Kanan to get one off Zeb. And all he's got is
Yeah.
a real guard champion, and I just flipped up Last Warrior, it looks like.
It's that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this really isn't looking good for him. He needed to sit back with Caesar to prevent some strikes.
Right.
Because that's the thing about trying to lock someone down in advance is they get to remove one of those tokens. So
Right.
unless you can put a ton of them out at once.
And
it
here
can
I am again,
backfire.
not drawing a lot. I feel like I drew another ghost, but I can't play. I think I drew a nudge.
Yeah, I don't. You really don't need to draw a whole lot.
And I'm figuring, well, I can see it now. I remember thinking he's got all these cards in his. He's probably got a great edge hand.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm playing a resource.
It's really just a matter of whether you get tactics or not,
Yeah. And
or
there's
seeds.
There's a nudge. The dial will go back to 7.
I mean, honestly, there's probably a way that you can attack with a combination of winning an edge battle.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could send all of your dudes with blast on them
Mhm.
to one of the objectives. You'll kill them somehow because you can't kill all your units before you strike, and then you unopposed with 3PO or the nudge, and there it is.
Right. As long as he doesn't actually block with. Yeah, if he doesn't block, I hit the freelance slicer flipped in another resource.
Nice. This deck is just cheating for days.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got 4 blasts total you can use, but the objectives over there, what do you need? What's the health wise on those?
So there's 3 damage on Planet of the Prophetess and 4 damage on the Dark Lord of the Sith, and I blew up one Dark Lord. Now I'm gonna have to focus something again because there's still a Dark Lord out, so I'll probably
3PO.
focus 3PO.
Yeah.
I might need the nudge's gun.
Honestly, I mean, there's only that one defender, right? And there's no tricks in
Yeah.
that deck that let him unfocus.
Right.
So you just send
Does he have a bunch of resources still?
He has 1 resource.
like one.
Uh,
But I think the problem is I have to factor in if he doesn't block one of my attacks. I got to make sure I get it in on the second one because the only thing I have
right.
Black Blast on is the Freelance Slicer and Ghost.
well, you've got 3 damage on one and 4 on the other.
Yeah.
Right.
You could send Freelance Slicer or Ghost to the 4 damage objective. He has to block that or it explodes.
Right.
And then you've got the other Black Blast guy to finish the job.
The one downside would be if, like, say you send in Ghost first and he blocks and plays a Seeds to get
That's
the
true.
freelance.
Yeah, that would be bad.
But the flip side to this too is that you're not really in a rush to win here.
Well, I sort of am. The dial's at 7, so he got.
He's already killed 2. If it goes to 9, he only needs 1.
Yeah, he's killed 1.
That's true.
Oh,
You're
okay.
down
I
your-
see 2 over there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But the nudge would make him. But yeah, I mean, if he blows up 2, he's going to win. So he's already got 3 damage on May of the Force, and he's got there. So
Yeah,
I
you don't
played
have
the
any
well
tactics units
equipped,
anymore,
okay.
so
I played a
that-
well
yeah,
equipped. That might
that'll
help.
set you up. So wait, did he not block?
No, I guess not. He did not play. See, I was trying to factor that in, and now I at least got Yoda back for the edge battle. That was one of the reasons I went after that first, although he can recapture something. So I've blown up a second objective. And he gets to do that after I get
Yeah,
Yoda back, and he got
That
the
is trickier
mission.
than I originally thought.
Yeah.
Playing around that seeds is smart.
So now I basically just have Zeb, and the guard could kill Zeb. Oh, I guess we forgot the Dark Lord thing, so I put one on. Huh.
The guard could kill Zeb. Your best. Yeah. The problem there is that
guard
Kanan
is
is your
edge.
really defensive unit.
Yeah.
Guard has edge 1 also.
Yeah.
And he still has that big edge hand you were talking about.
So I am sending Zeb in after Power of the Dark Side, which makes me think I either have another bow rifle or a target.
You've already got 2 damage with Zeb. He can kill him with the targeted strike. Get the guard out of the way, you can win with a nudge.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm doing. Then I'm forcing him that if he doesn't block, then I can kill him. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you had that target of opportunity, all you need to do is go in there and
Right,
pitch
yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm glad you saw what I was doing, Derek, because apparently I didn't remember what I did. Yeah, so I guess that's what it was. I explained that I can target a strike and then nudge for the win. Go nudge, go. So
No targeted strike, man.
yeah,
That's awesome.
that was so. Yeah, and he had a Palpatine and a Zezor in his hand. I wasn't winning that edge battle. So that's why I did it that way. I had to blow up the first one so I could potentially targeted strike the guard and get the nudge in unopposed. So that was a pretty close game there. I thought Anthony, like I said, played pretty well. He's maybe a little more aggressive than you might want to be there, especially against those spark decks that can just spit out units. But I thought he had a
especially
pretty
with that edge hand.
yeah, I thought he had a pretty decent build. He was kind of hamstrung by not getting resources, and I think 3PO being out too kind of negated maybe some of his attempts to, if he had thought about playing events like he said. So what kind of
we
other...
didn't see too many of them, so we don't know how many of them he had or how many he just discarded.
Right, exactly. So you guys have any final thoughts on that game? So I picked up a second win. I was on 6 points there after that. Anthony actually didn't have any going in the first round, just the way the first round ended up with Ben and I tying at 3. Somebody was on 6 points and somebody else was on 4 points. So they played each other, and then Ben and I both played, had to play people below us since we were tied at 3. But so I got another win there up to 6.
Yeah, I thought his deck was really cool. I think he was just too aggressive, honestly. That was the main reason that he didn't pull it out.
Yeah.
Because he was able to get the dial up fairly quickly in the early game with his force control.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he had the damage. He needed to wait a little bit longer before pulling the trigger on objectives to give himself the best shot at just pushing the dial up.
Right. He might have been better off not blowing up the objectives, but spreading some of the damage around when he attacked to lock things down.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that the classic Sith used to do it.
Right.
You'd send like your little wimpy dudes in to put a damage or two here or there so you could finish the game strong.
Right.
I like his deck a lot though, so it was a cool game to see. And it's so fascinating to watch these Spark decks and how they operate. It's really cool.
Yeah, I got lucky that Spark bailed me out when I misplayed the bow rifle and the well-equipped thing. So
sometimes games hinge on small things, especially in this game. I've noticed that those little small effects can be huge.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Derek?
Well, the question is also, when he took out Hera, what would happen if he had taken out 3PO instead? Because then you have, I mean, there's not only do you have stuff like Deadly Sight, but there's the event in the Vader set that you can use as well.
Right, telekinetic strike.
Right, which is free because he was having resource problems. So I mean, there's potential that had he gotten rid of 3PO, I don't know if maybe he drew it later or drew it earlier and pitched it. I didn't see what he was discarding most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm looking at his deck list. There's not a whole lot of events, but the ones that are that he does have are pretty powerful.
Right. Yeah.
So
and we don't know if maybe he wasn't draw. I know we saw him pitch the Deadly Sight, but maybe he just didn't really draw the other stuff. So it may not have really mattered. But yeah, I was 3PO being out really just kind of sucked up the Dark Lord of the Sith stuff and as much as anything there. So, but I thought he played pretty well. I was impressed. Like I said, I forgot to ask Anthony. So Anthony, if you're watching, I'm sorry I didn't ask you how old you were. I was guessing you're about middle school. I was darn impressed with how you played. You gave me a great game there, and kept me on the ropes.
He's like 23 or something. You know? No, the other thing too, he pitched the Dark Lord of the Sith,
Right.
with 3PO being out there. But you know what? Even if he uses it and then you burn 3PO, well, now then the objective's going to start focusing something else.
Right.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I find that too, like whenever I'm staring at 3PO or whatever, to where I just don't want to, waste this event. You got to just use it and let them sack him and get him off the table so that you can play your next one. Otherwise, he just sits there and you never play anything.
Right.
Or as you mentioned, kill him with Vader, even though it seems like overkill.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, all right. Well, Ben, I'm glad you're able to join us for commentary again, getting to see some of the games that you weren't involved in at the store championship, and so
That's fun.
I appreciate you doing that. And Derek, thanks as always for joining me, being my regular commentary partner on Yoda side. It's always good to have your insight, and I'm glad you're a part of the team here. So thanks again.
Yep, anytime.